going to do a quick review of something called interval notation. Interval notation is a specific kind of set notation for describing sets of numbers on a number line. So interval notation is going to involve using parentheses like those, or brackets like those in some combination. So we might have something that looks like this, or something that looks like this. Some combination of those, and knowing what to use when is really helpful to help describe a set of numbers. So, for example, let's say that I had a number line, and I have some number on that line A, and I want to describe or note all of the numbers that are bigger than A. So I want to describe everything that is all the numbers bigger than A. So we know that using greater than or less than signs, we would write this as X bigger than A. On the number line, we would see it as this stuff over here to the right of A, and we don't include A because A can't be bigger than itself, so we might put a little circle there. In interval notation, what we're going to do is we're going to write the interval. It starts at A, and it goes until infinity. So we write A, comma, infinity, and then we're going to choose from the kinds of brackets or set markers. I don't know how else to refer to them. The brackets or parentheses that we used earlier. And what we're going to do here is we're going to use a parentheses. And the reason why is a parentheses, this here, indicates that A is not included. So if we did a more specific example, let's say we have the number line and we want to look at the numbers that are bigger than -2. Again, we would write that, or we would note it on the number line, as this stuff here to the right of -2 for bigger than 2. It would look like that. And we would write it in interval notation as -2 infinity. This means all of the numbers bigger than 2, but not including -2. So for instance, -1.99 is in there. And -1.999 is also in there. But -2 is not. So we don't include -2. So it looks like I accidentally deleted a parentheses before. So notice here, let's go back to that point, I put a parentheses on infinity as well. Since we can't reach infinity, infinity is never included, because you can't actually get there when you're counting. So we're always going to get parentheses to infinity. So let's look at another example. Let's say I wanted to look at all of the numbers less than A. So I want to look at now the values of X that are less than A. Well, if we draw a picture of that, that is going to be the stuff to the left of A. We're not including A, so we'll put a little circle there. And we're going to note that in interval notation, now our smallest value, which always goes on the left, is -infinity, because we go over to the left, and our biggest value is A. But again, it gets a parentheses because we're going up to A, but we're not including it. So notice something here, that regardless of the symbols that we're using, we're always going to put the lower value on the left and then the larger value on the right, or the higher value. I guess if I use lower, I should use higher. Keep things parallel. And then we're either going to use parentheses or brackets depending on the situation that we're in. So if I wanted to do the set of numbers that are bigger than or equal to a, so that notice that now my inequality has an equal sign in it, and when we write that or draw that on our number line, now we're including that a value and looking at all the stuff that's bigger than it. And when we write that in set notation, again, we start at a, that's our lowest value. It's the lowest part of the shaded region. We're going all the way up to infinity. We're not including infinity because we can't get there, but we are including a this time. So we're going to give that a hard bracket. And if we wanted to say all of the x's less than or equal to a, we could do that right on the same number line. So let's say this. That's the pink stuff is the stuff that's bigger than or equal to a. We'll make the stuff that's less than or equal to a purple. So that's going to look like, got a filled in dot there at a. And we're going to the left. And so again, we see our lowest value is negative infinity. Can't actually get there, so we give it a parentheses. And then we go up to a and we stop there, but we include it. So we give it a bracket. We can also do this for sets that don't involve infinity. So there, we have two numbers, a and b, and we're going to have four possibilities. So I'm going to make four number lines here that all include these arbitrary values, a and b. We can see that a is smaller than b in each case because it's to the left of it on the number line. And our first case might be that we want all of the values that are between a and b, including a and b. So these numbers here. So this would be written as an inequality as a is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to b. And because we've included a and b, we're going to write this. There's our small value, there's our bigger value, and both of them get parentheses. That's one possibility. Another possibility might be that we include a, but we don't include b. So we're looking at that set of numbers there, starting at a and including a, but not including b. So that would be a is less than or equal to x is less than b. A can't be equal to b. And there we write a with the bracket and b gets a parentheses to indicate that a is in the set, but b is not. We can reverse those. We could look at what happens when we don't include a, but we do include b. In that case, we have a is less than x, no equal sign, is less than or equal to b with an equal sign. And we write that as parentheses a and a bracket for b. And our last possibility is when we want all the numbers between a and b, but we don't want to include either of those numbers. This is a is less than x is less than b, and it corresponds to a, comma, b. So hopefully that helps you be able to figure out how to describe sets of numbers on a number line using what's called interval notation.